Most car flippers are overpaying for cars, causing them to lose thousands. So today, I'm looking for 3 cars that are going to make us over $2,000 profit without having to do any major repairs to them. And after 6 years of full-time car flipping and making well over $2,000 profit on most of my cars, I've made 3 rules to find the best ones. They have to be under $4,000, less than 200,000 miles, and they can't be a salvage title. Let's check out this first one. It's the 2011 for $2,000 and 132,000 miles. Well, it's salvage, as you can see right there, and that breaks rule number 3, so we can't buy this one. This looks like a pretty clean car, $2,000. It says as is, which is a little sketchy, and they don't say anything else about it. Yeah, it seems kind of dinged up, and it has a temporary license plate, which means it probably has some problems, which is why they weren't able to get a permanent one. But maybe this one's a good one. $1,600. It's a 2014, so it's a little newer. And it has a transmission problem. That's going to be a big deal, and by the time we fix that up, we aren't really going to make any money on that car. Ooh, a $1,700 2011 Ford Fiesta, 145,000 miles. It was just registered. The vehicle has a salvage title. Another one, break-in rule number 3. All right, $1,000, that's cheap. It has 160,000 miles, and the description says there's nothing wrong with it. Looking over it, we can see the paint is faded. There's dings all over it. It's a little too destroyed for us, but you probably could make like $1,000 profit on this thing. I just like to buy ones with clean bodies because they just sell a lot better and it's not worth fixing them up. I just clicked on this one. It's $2,000 and the transmission's acting up. A lot of these ones like that. All right, here's a 2012 Ford Focus. It says a new motor was just put in and the price is negotiable. A new motor being put in doesn't matter really. When I buy a personal car, I wouldn't really want that, but on these older cars, it's not that big of a deal. What I do notice is there's no registration sticker, which is a little weird, meaning the registration is probably old, and I'm not sure exactly what's up with this, and since a new motor was put in, it could have been sitting for years, so they took off the sticker to try and hide that or something. I'm gonna say this isn't gonna be a deal, and we'll keep looking. Ooh, alright, $1,600 for 2008 Kia. 106,000 miles. It's not the prettiest, but it seems like everything else is good. Yeah, all right. Let's check over what makes it not the prettiest. I mean, there's some faded paint. On the inside, the seats are stained, but those can be cleaned up pretty easily. Yeah, there's literally nothing really wrong with this car. So we're going to save this car, and we'll come back to it later in the video and compare it with some other cars to see what it's actually worth, to see what type of profit we could make on it. And we'll also buy a Carfax on it to make sure it checks out and there's nothing major wrong that they're like hiding from us or anything. And I just clicked on this car. It's only 80,000 miles, which is very low. That's why the transmission is bad. So it was probably just sitting there because it couldn't drive anyways. And we're not going to fix that up. This is a very clean looking Ford Focus. The description says everything looks good. Battery is halfway capacity, 40% charge only. That's kind of a big deal. I didn't even realize it was electric at first. And I usually don't buy electric cars. They just have a lot of problems. I'm not as good at fixing them, stuff like that. All right, I'm gonna click on this. It says 13,000 miles, which doesn't make sense. But let's check if that's actually the mileage. Yeah, right here in the description, it says 130,000 miles, which is very common. They always leave a 0 off for some reason. I don't know if they're trying to just get you to click or what, but it looks pretty clean. Only problem is the price for 130,000 miles. That's just average price. That's not a deal. And on some of those cars like that, you could negotiate it down and hopefully get it for even lower. But if they aren't a deal in the first place, I usually won't even try negotiating. And I clicked on this one because I had low miles, but they say no financing, no trading, we're not parting it out. Like, that's just words that dealerships use. And it has a temporary plate, and you can see it's like in a dealership lot or something like. So I'm not gonna want that. What about this? $700? There's no way it's good. Just needs a cylinder. It's a pretty big issue and not going to be worth it. And it's pending now, which means someone literally just started messaging the guy and he just marked it pending. Ooh, another Ford Focus. There's a lot of these things for sale today. No way, it's salvage again. Everything keeps hitting this third rule we have. I mostly just don't buy salvage cars because they're usually crashed and they were salvaged for a reason. So they usually have a whole bunch of problems and people just won't pay as much for them. Looking over this, it was just completely destroyed on this whole side. That's going to cost way too much to get fixed up. Ooh, a $900 Chrysler. These things don't make much money when you resell them. But, I mean, it's $900 and it seems like it drives good. This one's a car where you'd kind of just buy and resell it for like $1,500 or $2,000. But that's basically like an $1,000 profit, maybe even less. And so I'm not really going to deal with it. I'd rather find something that's going to make me more profit because who doesn't want more profit? What about this? $1,400. Salvage title. No. All right. A Volkswagen Jetta. I bought one of these somewhat recently for more money than this with roughly the same mileage, so this one could be good. And looking over it, yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't even see anything wrong with it at all. Oh my. I just read the description. It says salvage there. I skipped over that at first. There really is a lot of salvage cars I'm clicking on today. I normally don't see that many in a row, but it's all well. We'll find some more. Ooh, pink car. Look at this thing, those wheels on that. All right, a Kia Rio 2017, $2,300. It looks like it was crashed in the front, and the description says it has a code on it, and I'm willing to bet the code is because it was crashed, and so it's probably going to be a bigger deal because there's a lot broken up under that bumper and stuff. And obviously we know it's crashed because they're different colors, so they had to replace it all. And then one other thing I noticed is there's a scanner right there, and there's all sorts of tools. So this guy was trying to fix it up and he wasn't able to fix it up, which means likely it needs more work than it seems like. This paint on this car looks really clean. It has 100,000 miles, $2,500. He says it's had a complete tune-up, so maybe he's a flipper, I don't know. The only thing is the price is a little high for what it is, but it only has 100,000 miles, so I'm gonna save that and we'll check on it in a little bit to compare it with some other cars and see if the price is actually high or if we could get a good amount of money for it. This one says the vehicle has mechanical issues, it can't exceed 40 miles per hour, and has some cosmetic flaws. So I would say if you know how to fix cars, this is probably gonna be a pretty good flip. But really, I'm looking for some easy to fix cars, and so we're not gonna move on with this one. Check out this guy with the 3 fingers. He's like, I can't do it. He's like, let's click on this one really quick. It's too cheap, so it probably has some problems. Needs new engine. Yep. Next car. Ooh, 17K miles. That's definitely wrong. Hopefully they say the miles in the description. They don't say it, but we'll just assume it's 170,000 miles. He says it doesn't pass smog though, and it's gonna cost $1,200 to fix something. I don't know what. Yeah, this thing's pretty beat up. Dang, $500? Starts, runs, then has trouble starting, and car gets hot. And no title. That car is going to be a hard one to resell. All right, under 90,000 miles for $1,400. Bill of sale only. We need the title or else I'm never going to buy it because you just can't resell it. $1,400, 98,000 miles. That sounds pretty good. I see it says transmission. Oh, it says transmission is good condition. That's good. Only has a few dents on the outside and owes a year of plates. A year of plates I'll usually say is $200, but what I do notice is crashed in the front. That's why it's got a different color bumper and the hood's all messed up. Oh yeah, this whole thing is just completely different color panels, meaning that whole side was dented in and it's probably a pretty horrible car under there. It's all not aligned properly. I would say if you're just trying to buy a car to just drive around, that would be a great deal. But to resell it, it's gonna be kind of hard. But a Chevy Tahoe, it's an SUV, people like the bigger cars, and only has 100,000 miles for under $3,000. Oh, he was lying about the miles. It says 186,000 miles, not 100,000 like he put there. And that's a pretty big deal breaker. All right, here's the Toyota Camry. It is stick shift, so they're harder to sell because most people just can't drive them as well, or at all, honestly. Let's check over if there's any problems with it, though. That's the problem with it. It's being sold by a dealer, and I guess, yeah, it's $3,500, which is kind of pricey. What about this truck? $3,200 for 123,000 miles. And what does the description say? Front left tire getting a little low on tread, would replace soon. Exhaust sounds nice. There's no problems with it, but the car could use new front seats. This one's a little weird just because it was modded out a bit. If he says exhaust sounds nice and it has some aftermarket wheels on it. Oh, and also he says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles. So we don't even know how many miles are on this thing, which I bet if we bought a Carfax on it, it's gonna have a lot more than that. And you see these really good pictures like this, like it looks like, oh, that's such a clean car, and then the license plate's blocked out and it's way too cheap for what it is. When you click on it, it's usually always gonna be a scam or it's dealer down payment. And yeah, here it's a scam. They say email me, and if they say email me, it's a scam. Trust me. They're just gonna try and extract money from you. Ooh, $1,800, 144,000 miles. Smog in hand, lien sale. No thank you. We just want a clean title. That's it. All right, $1,500, a 2010 Chevy Equinox, 120,000 miles. Has cylinder 2 misfire, but don't want to deal with it. Asking $1,500. And when they say they're asking $1,500, it's kind of good because it means they're willing to negotiate on the price a little bit. And let's check over these pictures. There's a little dent in the fender. That's not a huge deal. And engine bay is a little dirty. That's actually kind of good to see. It just means they aren't trying to hide anything. Just needs a quick cleanup, and honestly, this could be a good car to resell. When we get around to comparing it, we'll see what other ones are selling for and see if this is actually a good deal or not. So we're going to save that, and then we'll also have to buy a Carfax on it. Real fast, if you're getting into car flipping, I'd like to give you a free Carfax. It's gonna help you avoid buying a car with hidden problems like an accident or just bad history on the car. I'll literally buy one for every single car before I end up buying the car. They're normally $45, but this is my gift to you, completely free. Just click the link in the description, enter your email, and I'll send one over to you. But let's see what else is out here. Like this $1,900 for a 2017, 155,000 miles. Salvage title and lien sale from a tow yard. Nope. We just don't want to buy those. They're just trying to make money off us. And when you end up buying it, you probably won't make much profit on it. Ooh, $1,500, 115,000 miles. Car doesn't pass smog, a small oil leak from the pan. And he gives us the code, which is cool because we don't have to go in person to see what the code is. Actually, I'm gonna search up this code and see what it is to see if it's actually worth it or not, or if it's some major problem. Right here, it says the code indicates a malfunction for the evap system, which really is not a big deal. And these codes are usually pretty easy to fix up, and same with the oil leak from the pan. You just take the pan off, replace the gasket, and it's pretty good to go. Yeah, as we can see right there, it says service engine soon. And yeah, I saw a little dent in the fender back here. But I mean, for the price and the miles on this thing, it's actually gonna be worth saving. And if they're going for $3,000 or something, and all you have to do is fix the evap code, which is usually just like a sensor or just replacing a hose or something like that, could be definitely worth doing. We just have to know what they're selling for when we do the comparing later on. And we got to the end of the section of the cars we were looking for. So let's go to the ones we saved, buy Carfaxes for them, and compare them with other cars to see if we found any real deals. Here's our 4 cars we saved, so let's just start with the first one and see if it shows the license plate so we could buy a Carfax on it. We almost can see it, it's just a little too blurry. So we're just gonna hope this Carfax checks out, and if it's actually a good deal, we can just ask the guy for the license plate number, but we'll figure that out after we do the comparing. And before we do that, we're gonna buy Carfaxes for the rest of these. Here's the license plate, so let me buy a Carfax real quick and I'll get back with you. At the top, the first thing I look for is what the car is to see if that matches, along with the miles. And what I noticed is it says 1999 and 103,000 miles, but on the listing it says 2,000 and 106,000 miles. So he was a little off on that stuff, but not by much, so it's not that big of a deal. And looking over the rest of the Carfax, it seems good. The only weird thing right here is the guy literally just bought the car, and the guy before him literally just bought the car, which is really weird. Like, there's already 2 owners within the last month. So this is very suspicious. There's gotta be a reason for that. It might have a huge issue that they're hiding. And so they keep selling it because they don't want to deal with it. So just because of that Carfax, that's going to make us not want to buy this car because that's very suspicious. And even if you go in person and check it out and it seems good, I really wouldn't buy something with a Carfax like that. And that's exactly why you always buy Carfaxes on all these cars. So real quick, let's unsave that. And again, there's a free Carfax linked in the description, so you don't run into anything like that. This guy on the car, he took off the plates, which is a little weird. Some people are just scared to show their license plate, but it's really not that big of a deal. Let's check out this last car if they show the plate. And the plate isn't shown on this car either. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on to comparing these cars. All we're gonna do is take the car and put it in another tab and see what they're selling for over here, and see if our price is a good deal for the mileage and the condition compared to the other one. So here's ours with 106,000 miles, $1,600. And we could see they're going anywhere from around $2,000 to up to $4,000, which is actually a pretty high price. I thought it'd be worth less, honestly. So going back to our listing, let's look over it one more time. He says there's no issues, it's not the prettiest, and it just had some stuff replaced. And looking over the exterior, it looks great. The interior just needs a clean. The door handle was ripped off there. I didn't notice that at first, but door handle's like 20 bucks. There's a little dent back there. But I mean, for $1,600 and only 100,000 miles, this thing's gonna be a great deal. And if we could sell it for $3,500, that's basically a $2,000 profit without really having to do that much to this. It would just need a deep clean on the interior and just maybe a polish on the outside, and it'd be ready to flip. So right here's our first deal. That one's actually really good. But what about this one? A Chevy Equinox with 122,000 miles. Putting it in this tab. All right, nice. These are a little newer years. You can see ours is a 2010, but I mean, I would say ours could go for $3,000, which is a little less than all these because these ones are newer. And let's just look over it one more time to see if there's any huge problems. Yeah, Andy said asking, so that means we can negotiate it down. Let's just say we could negotiate it down to $1,000, and we'd basically have a $3,000 car after we fix the cylinder 2 misfire, which usually are pretty easy. There's spark plugs, ignition coils, wiring or something. You just have to go in person, scan it, and kind of diagnose it yourself, just to make sure it's not anything hugely wrong. But right here is an easy $1,500 profit just for fixing one problem. All right, I'm gonna take this Buick Century and see what these are selling for. All right, so right here, they're around 1,500, I'd say, up to 3,000. This one's a little higher price, but I wouldn't trust that. Some people just price their cars higher. And it doesn't have smog, it has a code. This one has a $1,500 profit potential, but I'd say 1,000 to be safe, and you might run into some other problems. So this one's not really gonna be a deal. And the other two seemed like better deals to me. So right here's two cars. You probably could make $2,000 profit on each one of them, which I'd say is pretty good. You're able to find a good deal now, but there's something I didn't tell you that's gonna have an even bigger impact on your flips. So click this video to see how car flipping actually works and how you can make more money doing it. And as always, I'm wishing you a lucky day.